to give you a quick tour of how to navigate our course. And so to start, I'm going to go through what you'll see when you log into our course each week. So I use the home page of the course to direct your learning. So every time you log in, you're going to see a weekly message here. So your week 1 is a welcome message. And this message just basically kind of sets the stage for what you're going to be learning this week. It will tell you the approximate number of hours that you might need to spend on the course deliverables, and then it kind of points you in the next direction, so where to click next. And so in week 2, you'll log in and you'll see a different message here with a different emoticon, and I'll archive old weekly homepage messages. Everything you need in our course is found over here on the left-hand menu. So let's just start and go down the list and go through each section. So first, let's click on course information. And here is where all of the critical documents in our class live. So the course syllabus, the course schedule, and the visual course map are all housed here. Next, we have common terminology and tools used in our course. So this is just so that you can kind of get a baseline for the different terminology you might hear. If you hear a term and it's not here, will you please let me know so that I can add it for next year's participants. But this is kind of the running list of jargon that you might hear. And then down here at the bottom are participant expectations. And so this will let you know what you can expect from me and your team lead, and then what we expect from you as part of the course. And just very quickly, I want to go through this bottom section here and draw your attention to it because it's important. So I cannot stress enough how important it is for you to dedicate time to this class. And what I'll say is you will get out of this class what you put into it. So don't wait until the last minute to start either, because the heart of this course is communication and collaboration with me and your team leads and your team members and your group members. So be sure you give yourself ample time throughout the week. I'll tell you the #1 predictor of success, and this is the 5th year I've taught it, are the folks who dedicate specific chunks of time to really dive into the class. They go off into a quiet place, maybe the library or a home office. They find a headset and they just really dive into the content and spend some good quality time invested in the course. Okay, so next I will show you the professor information section of the course. And this is just a place to give you my contact information, let you know sort of what my professional interests are, my research interests, how you can get in contact with me. If you're interested in any of my publications or my Vita, you can click there. I also embed my own tweets here in this section, and you'll find that there's another place in the course where we have embedded tweets, but it's actually for our hashtag Tarleton OOC, and this is actually a feed directly from my tweets from Dr. C. Baker. But this is just a fun place for you to come if you're curious or if you need to figure out how to get in contact with me quickly. Okay, so the next item is probably where you're going to spend the majority of your time in our course, and that is the weekly modules. Right now you only see week 1, but as we get to week 2, you'll see that appear on Sunday at 11:59 p.m. and then week 3 will follow in 4 and 5. So you'll have a full list here at the end of the course. But you'll notice that everything that you need for a given week is in this folder. There's no need to go anywhere else in the course to find things. It's all on this page once you click into the folder. So we've talked a little bit about this Explore, Learn, Connect, Collaborate, and Experiment, Apply structure to our course. And that's what you're going to see every time you click into a weekly module. So the Explore, Learn is going to house your Soft Chalk lesson, and you can access that Soft Chalk lesson by clicking on the icon or on the title. And it will open up the content of the course in a new window. And from here you'll see there's 7 pages of content that I've created. You can print this all at one time. If you click on the print all button, it sort of drops it all into one big document that you can print from your browser. But the thing that I love about SoftChalks is it allows me to add a lot of different visual elements, interactive elements, embedded video, widgets, links, and so it allows me to create sort of a textbook for our class, but one that's very interactive and engaging. So each SoftChalk you can navigate by clicking on Next or rolling over the table of contents and going straight to a page. But really I'd say go through it sequentially at first for sure. So you'll just click through, and at the bottom of the page too you can also click Next or Previous. But you'll just click through to view all of the content for the module here in the SoftChalk. And then when you're finished, when you get to the very end, it will say now you can close this browser window and return to week 1. So you'll close out of the browser window and you're right back here in Blackboard in our module. And so then you would scroll down to the next part of our course, and that's what you're doing right now, watching the introduction videos. So I won't go through all of these because you're going to be able to, but just know everything that you need, you're not going to miss anything as long as you click in this folder, because I've made sure everything is here that you need. Let me get to this part really quickly. So the Connect Collaborate part, we have to set all of the accounts and sharing up first before we can really dive into the Connect Collaborate pieces. And so I've given you instructions for how to set up your Google document and how to share that with your team lead. And then you're going to come to kind of a fun activity where you get to introduce yourself on the Linoit board. And this is a neat, fun board where you can click in and you can see myself and Allie have already posted here for collaborators. But what you're going to do is just come over here and make your own sticky, add your own introduction, add your own picture, which is over here if you click on the little picture icon, and move it, kind of space it out so it's nice and organized. And then your fellow team members and myself and Allie or your team lead can come in and reply and just kind of post a little reply sticky underneath welcoming you to the class. And then if you mess up, you can always edit by clicking this edit icon, or peel it off of the board by clicking this peel off button. So that's the Lino board. Finally, you come to the Experiment Apply section of the course, and you are experimenting with learning management systems this very second. You're logged in as a student to Blackboard, and I'm really walking you through the structure of our course, which is allowing you to experience a learning management system. We do offer an optional Moonwalking Bear activity if you want to go even further than experiencing it as a student. And you can access that by clicking here. It's just a SoftChalk that walks you through some of the other learning management systems that you might want exposure to. Okay, next you have a self-assessment quiz that's going to cover everything in week 1, including these videos. So be ready for questions about what we're discussing even this very moment in this navigation orientation. Finally, you come to your reflection document, so you've already set that up and shared it up here in this part, and then you'll come to sort of your instructions for how to really fill in your week 1 reflections. And you can always access the grading rubric for that, and it will tell you how you're going to be graded on the activity. The last thing that you'll need to do in week 1 is to complete your verification form. And once you hit submit, that lets me and your team leads know that you've completed all of the requirements and you're ready for your team lead to get in and start adding comments and giving you some feedback on your work. Alright, so that would be an entire module for week 1. I think you're going to find there are all kinds of nooks and crannies of the course where you can venture off on your own learning path, but this keeps you kind of structured in a way where you know you're at least meeting the minimum requirements, and then anything you want to do above that, of course, is a Moonwalking Bear activity. Alright, let's move on to the virtual hallway. And this is just an area where you can converse with other members of the class. So if you have a random question you want to ask, or want to share a resource, or you're unclear on something, post it here, and this is a good place to kind of have a dialogue with your fellow participants. This is where I was telling you the embedded Twitter feed for our course is. So anytime that you tweet using this hashtag, it will likely show up here in this feed. So you can see all of our team leads have been busy tweeting away about the course. And once you start next week, your tweets might show up here as well. It depends on how long you've been a Twitter user and on some other things. So don't panic if your tweet doesn't show up here. We have another way to check to make sure that you've completed the requirement to tweet. But it is kind of fun to log in and see your tweet show up here in the feed. I've also added your Linoit board here in this virtual hallway as well, just in case you need another place to access it. So you'll see your board here as well. Okay, next is email, and this is if you want to send an email to myself or to your team lead or to your teams. You have lots of different options for how you can segment it, but what I want to say about email is it's not contained within the course. So when you decide to send an email to all users, it truly is going to send an email out to the entire course. So just be a little bit aware of which option you choose here. Typically, you're going to want to select the users that you want to email in the course, and then you can find them here on this list. So if you wanted to find me, you could find me here and move it over to the selected column, give it a subject line, enter your text. Just kind of FYI, this little box here lets you drop down and have some more options for making your text look pretty and adding links in and that kind of thing. But once you hit submit, it is going to email me outside of Blackboard. It's actually going to send it to my Gmail account. And so that's how you can email me straight from within the course. But the thing is, it's not going to have a record of it here in the system. So I would say just email your team leads or me to our Gmail accounts. Once you kind of have them in your system, just use that, your own email client to send emails. But we wanted to provide this in case there's a reason you would want to send to other individuals in the course. All right, the next section is the class roster, and this also gives you an idea of who else is in the course. So there's two ways to see this. You can click on this image here to see a shared Google document that has all of the teams, their school district or their school, and their role in the class. And you'll notice down here at the bottom there's tabs to go to the various teams to see who's on your team and sort of where they're from and what their roles are. So it's a neat way to kind of see the makeup of the class. The other way is to use the Blackboard roster tool, and you can click on that and just click on go to see the whole list. It's not as robust as the Excel spreadsheet, but it does let you kind of find people specifically if you might be looking for them that way. All right, next is your My Grades section. So this is where you'll go to see feedback for all of your deliverables. And the neat thing about this, it's going to have your running average, and you'll see it correlates with what's in the syllabus in terms of the distribution for each different activity. But it'll keep a running average so you always know where you stand in the class. And then for each deliverable that you have, you can view a rubric to see how you'll be graded, and then once your team lead gives you a grade, you'll be able to click on that same rubric and see how you were scored on the rubric. So you're only going to see week 1 for right now. As soon as week 2 opens, you'll see the week 2 items, so it's going to kind of build just like the learning modules do as we go. Okay, almost done. So we're to the Online Success Toolbox, and this is just a place for you to come to get resources to learn how to be successful in an online course. And again, as I was saying before, an online environment can be very isolating if you don't engage, if you don't dedicate time to communicating and collaborating. And so that's why I made this little code for online course success. So it's communication, organization, diligence, and engagement that's going to help you be successful in this class. And I've provided you with some resources here. Again, the common terminology and tools used in our course, some frequently asked questions that you might have as an online learner, and then just some getting acclimated videos for Blackboard in general if you're kind of struggling with the learning management system. Finally, there's a section on getting help. So if you ever have any issues in the course, your first line of defense is to call our wonderful help desk team here at Tarleton. They're ready to assist you with anything technical. If it's not technical related, they can also escalate the call to me. or to your team lead. So you're always going to be able to get someone. So I wanted to point out this resource to you. Alright, so that's the tour of how to navigate our course. I hope it's been helpful for you, and next up I'm going to talk to you about the course syllabus.